Welcome to the podcast, The Next Big Thing. I'm your host, Keith D.Terry, a consultant, a coach, and a serial entrepreneur. The mission here is to teach, inspire, and to motivate. Today's episode is all about building your future. Special guest is Carlos Los Callahan. Carlos is a real estate investor. He's a med spa owner. He's an Airbnb investor. He's a serial entrepreneur with a portfolio, check this out, of 80 real estate properties and businesses such as Around the World Coffee and Smoothie Rx. Loss has mastered the balance between leveraging business credit and diversifying his investment portfolio. Um, he doesn't only just do it for himself, he's helping others. And he's helped mentor hundreds of entrepreneurs, helping them unlock, check this out, over $3 million of credit through his strategic financial planning methods. Carlos, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, thank you. What's going on, Terry? Keith, we had a nice time when we met initially, and it's been a couple of months, but we made this happen. I appreciate it.
I totally am looking forward to it. I'm delighted. As we get into this conversation, and he's right, for those folks that are listening, I met this gentleman at the Black Chamber of Commerce event through our good friend S.J. Gardner, and I just was very impressed with what he has achieved. And as we get ready to have this conversation, Carlos, where did you come from? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Uh, I come from the South Side of Chicago. I'm from 103rd area. I went to Corliss High School, went through Smith. And that's where I started from. In public housing. Our rent was $26 a month, and oh boy, I wish I could have $26 a month rent now.
I know
but
you do.
but yeah, I come from one of the worst parts of the city of Chicago, where people see on the news, where if they're not from here, the Roseland, Rosemore area has kind of always been plagued with violence and drug and gang activity and all of that type of stuff.
Well, that's cool. Which makes it that much more impressive. So, you've built an impressive portfolio: real estate, fitness, coffee. When did you realize entrepreneurship was your path?
Oh, when I was a shorty. I was young. I think when you come from places like where we come from, you and you don't have some of the things that you wish you had. You kind of put yourself in position. Man, I wish, and then so back then, I used to sell icy cups. We used to, and,
Okay.
and all that type of stuff, and then coming up in school, they used to ask you like what you want to be when you grow up, what you want to be. The term entrepreneur wasn't even out yet. I was before that time. So I should say a businessman. I wanted to be a businessman, and and,
Okay.
and here you go. I'm a businessman. I manifested a businessman out of myself.
Now, and that's good. Was there an early role model that you followed, or you just knew this was what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I mean, it was just in me because I didn't have any role models. Um, my mother was a bartender. She um she wasn't on this path at all. And I remember specifically growing up in the house, and I got some books in the house, and I just don't know where my mother got the books from, how they ended up in my house, but I read How to Win Friends and Influence People at like 7 or 8 years old. I also read the Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy
Oh
uh,
wow.
at,
Okay.
at like 7, 8, 9, 10 years old because it was in the house, and I don't even understand how that book was in the house. Those books were in the house because that wasn't my mother energy at the time. So
Okay.
it's like I don't know. They supposed to be here for me to read, and I think those books kind of shape what I wanted to do with myself.
Okay. And so, what were some of the early challenges? When what I'd love to do is a step by step approach. Because what you've built right now is quite an extensive portfolio. How did you begin? Was it real estate or was
Yeah,
something else?
yeah. No, it was real estate. Man, this journey has we got a thing now. The journey been journeying. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It took a long time to get where I am today. Um, and I personally wouldn't even think that I would be where I am today, looking back where it started from. Um, but at the end of the day, it started through real estate from me looking at some infomercials. We all probably familiar with Carlton Sheets and this no down payment system that we've seen on TV for years and years and years and years.
Right. No
Um,
doubt.
that's really how it started for me. So I used to see that all the time, and then I'm just like, damn man, well if they could do it, I could do it because I'm looking at them and I'm looking at their story. I'm looking at them show what they buying and all this stuff, and I'm like, well, they look like they come from trailer trash. And if the trailer trash can do it because the equivalent of trailer trash coming from the projects in the ghetto, so I'm like, so if they could do it, then shit, we could do it. So
Okay.
so that was really my motivation. Like, man, if they could do it, then I could do it. I didn't know what some of those terms that they was using at the time, balance sheets and net worths and all that stuff, credit and all that stuff. So that kind of opened my eyes to like this whole realm of business. That was like the first time that I kind of dug into any of that. So going through its course and reading that and all of that, that's really what kind of started it.
And in my opening monologue, I talked a little bit about uh, the difficulty of getting funding. Was that an early challenge for you?
Listen,
Okay.
real estate, it I say it fucked my life up, right? And
Okay.
the reason why I say that is because when I first started real estate, I was 17 years old, 18 years old, coming into 18. Um,
That's when you got your first property.
No, that's when I first started doing real estate deals. Started,
Okay.
what we call farm and real estate deals and things of that sort.
Okay.
So at 17, 18 years old, it was kind of difficult, right? So and I'm going through Carlton Sheets and it's creative financing. It's different type of offers that's to be made. That's what he teach. So
Right.
when I go to the marketplace at 18 years old to make these creative offers, they laugh at me. Like, there's no way that this 18-year-old is about to be able to do a balloon payment of $90,000 in 5 years or whatever that looked like. So what and this is why I say real estate fucked my life up, because from there it's like, I didn't want to keep getting denied. So okay, well, I'm gonna go get the money.
Okay.
So it took me to the only way that I could even possibly foresee getting some money in that type of manner, and that was from the streets. I was in the south side of Chicago, seeing people make money. I got people in my neighborhood driving Lexuses and all kind of shit. So hey man, let me see what I could do. Let me see if I can get me some money. So even though I did take to the streets to get myself started, and well, I wouldn't say get myself started because maybe even about 6 months later, I ended up getting my first deal at 18. Um,
Okay.
and when I say my first deal, I didn't buy a property as an investor. I wholesaled it, so I was able to get it under contract, sell it to someone else, and make
Okay.
make a spread. So I did that. Took my $4,000 check and went and bought like 2 pounds of weed, and and here it is. I'm taking good money, making it bad, and kind of perpetuated that process for a while. Kind of had some success with the other money, and kind of got me away from real estate a little bit more. But I knew I needed more money to do so. So it was kind of
Okay.
just like a cycle of, let me get this money so I could do this. Let me get this money so I could do that. So yeah, I played seesaw for years.
Okay. And then when did you venture away from real estate and add to your portfolio med spa, Smoothie Rx? Walk us through that path.
Uh, Man, I've done all kind of things in business. I had we had a restaurant back in like 2015 with a partner. That partnership didn't work out so well. The business was great, man. We was on track to do about 1.5 million of revenue the first year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really good, but the partnership was bad. So I learned a lot doing that relationship because again, although like our goals could be aligned, we may want the same things. It may sound like we want the same things, but if we don't have the same principles and things of that sort, man, it's just not gonna work out. So that particular partnership didn't work out. Um, so I was back to real estate. Real estate has always been the bread and butter at
So
home.
let's slow it down a little bit. So you talked. I loved what you just said about having aligned principles. Can you, in a stepwise fashion, kind of lay out what you think entrepreneurs, how they should go about aligning their principles with a potential partner?
Sure. I think that when we talk about faith, I think that one should, even if you don't believe in the same God, I think that you should be aligned and know that it is a higher power, and that it's someone else, that the architect of all these things that give us the power to move and so forth. Um, I think that eh, we need to be, at least for me, we need to be aligned, especially like on roles. Because
Okay.
in my mind, I may have a role that I think that works well for me and works well for you, but in your mind, you maybe want to do something totally different. And if we don't have these things defined and laid out, these things get convoluted down the line, and it could pose a bigger problem when someone feels right that they should be doing something else. Um, and that was probably one of the biggest things with my partnership, because it was a restaurant. We partnered with a cook, a
Okay.
chef. So from what we spoke about, it was her job to run the back of the house, run the kitchen, make sure everything is moving, and everything out the kitchen. And we was gonna handle everything else, front of the house, bring customers in, marketing, do
Okay.
everything. Um, but they weren't content with that role. As time persisted, and because of that, feelings got in the way. And certain things were said, and I'm just the type of person make you eat those words, but you're gonna eat that sandwich. So, uh,
Okay. Yeah.
she we end up leaving. We kind of recouped our investment. We left and took our business acumen elsewhere. And about not even 90 days later, that business closed. She closed. She couldn't keep it up no
Okay.
more.
Okay. 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 So you've taken the principles you learned from that one and you've moved on. I love that. And so as we talk about funding, was your funding organic from that point? Because I we're gonna get into, because you teach other people and you have an alternative strategy. But just staying with the early part of your portfolio, um, when did you start? When did you pivot towards using alternative funding sources?
Maybe about, as far as for real estate acquisitions and business expansion and things of that sort, maybe about 2012, 11, 12, yeah, about
Okay.
2012, 2013.
And that was because the traditional sources weren't playing along?
It's not that they was playing along. I just don't necessarily like the way that they play. They take a long time. They want a whole lot of paperwork. Real estate, especially the way that I do real estate, these deals need to be closed rather quickly. And
Mhm.
and at the time, the banks that I was using at the time, they move too slow. So
Okay.
alternative funding became a better source.
Okay, so let's get into that. So take me through, how quickly your deals close, what alternative sources you use, and so that you educate the listening public.
Okay, so typically, if you go to the bank, especially for like an investment property of the magnitude that I buy, it's going to be at least 60 days for the bank to close, unless you got like a revolving line of credit or something like with the bank. But that's still not going to give you long term finance, and that's just going to give you acquisition and time to get in the deal, which is fine.
Right. Right.
Um, but typically, the average person don't have what it takes to get that type of funding from the bank in the manner of time that you need to kind of get it done. So
You're right.
you got private sources of money. You got people who've been working their whole life, did well in their job. Know that the bank only gonna give them 0.0025% on their money, and they don't mind with someone investing their money with someone like me who got a real estate track record of winning, and they can get 15% of their money, 10% of their money, 8% of their money, depending on the deal. So I use private funds. I also use hard money. You hear probably some misconceptions about hard money lenders, but I use a lot of hard money lenders. I do use the bank for traditional but not for traditional finance. I have lines of credit with the bank, and I
Gotcha.
and I kind of use all of these things congruently to get a deal done. So I may take a deal down and do acquisitions with the line of credit, and then I may get a construction loan to finish the work, and then sell it and or refinance it and pay the line off and do all kind of. It just depends on the deal. Like no two deals are alike. So I try not to approach these deals the same way. I kind of look and see.
So when you say hard money, explain that. And I want to make sure I'm understanding what you mean by that.
So hard money is just a form of alternative financing where it's private individuals, private companies with money, and they got their own terms on which they lend. Sometimes the terms are hard. Sometimes they're a lot easier. You can kind of get in and get out and rather quickly. I get lenders that I can close in 3 to 7 days with, depending on what the deal is and the magnitude of the deal. So making an offer with a seller, tell them I can close in 7 days and really close in 7 days when they having some sort of hardship.
Yes.
That's a good bullet to have in your gun.
It really is. I mean, to close in 3 to 5 days is a remarkable timeline. It allows you to do a whole lot of creative things. Based on that, have you made any mistakes?
Oh yeah, yeah. I made some mistakes, definitely have, but I ain't made a whole lot. I have.
Okay.
I ain't made a whole lot.
So go ahead. Go ahead.
No, why don't you talk about what kind of mistakes? What kind of mistakes you looking for? Because
Well, I'm not really looking for anything. It's just, for those aspiring entrepreneurs who are looking to use alternative financing, you know, uh, what counsel do you give them? Because, a
read,
mistake is a lesson,
read,
right?
read. It's like the Bible say, seek ye out of the book and read. You know what I'm saying? Read the term sheet. If it's something that you don't understand, talk to the account manager. Um, get a finance dictionary if you need to. If it's some terms and stuff that you don't know, but read. Don't just allow someone to say these are the terms. Send what we call a LOI or a term sheet over and don't read it through because it may not reflect what you talked about. And then you go and move forward with the deal and you sign, and then here it is, you get a deal that you don't necessarily like the terms. So I would say read not. I haven't had a problem like that at all, but that those are some problems that happens traditionally in finance, especially with hard money.
And who's part of your team? I mean, I know that you have a wonderful wife who is part of your team, but I would assume you have a lawyer and a financial advisor, or do you?
No, so I do have a lawyer, but I don't. I kind of only use him to negotiate things of that sort because for some odd reason, attorneys only like attorneys to talk to them. They act like their ears don't work when someone else is speaking to them. So I kind of talk through my attorney, but I don't really use my attorney much. I'm kind of my own attorney. I go over my own contracts. I write up my own contracts. I do my own taxes and so forth, and then just allow the CPA to file them. So in case I need to use his errors and omissions insurance, in case something I messed up on, I use his E&O insurance, but I kind of do my own taxes and so forth.
I hear you. I hear you. Okay, I love that. So now you built this real estate portfolio. At what point did you decide to expand into Airbnb, med spa? I mean, what's your recipe for how you plan to grow or how you
Well,
have grown your portfolio?
well, the med spa that ain't had nothing to do with me. I was a supporter of that. That was my lady thing. She
Okay.
she kind of like that. She got friends that was in the med, well, it's still in the med spa business. And you got friends saying, "Hey man, y'all need to do this. You make this much amount of money. You do this and we do that. Y'all got a network of people. You got a customer base instantly. Um, and it's like, you know what? All right, we can get that a try. We gave it a try and we realized that we didn't have a customer base instantly. we thought we did. We thought that all those followers and all those people that we knew that was going to come through, but they didn't. And it's great because it taught us how to take a new business with zero foot traffic with zero customers and grow it to a multi-million-dollar business. So I'm grateful for not having the our customer base, our real estate customer base, and all that stuff come into the med spa like that. Don't get me wrong, I definitely had some friends that got services and things of that sort.
Okay.
But when we think about the real estate following that we have in Chicago from our meetups and things of that sort, clients and things of that sort, and friends, we would have thought that we had a lot more of those people coming through, but we didn't. And again, it was great because it taught us, should I say, online marketing, getting people in the door,
Okay.
and all that
Okay.
type of stuff. So it worked out.
So you've built upon it, and I love to hear that you you have several multi-million-dollar businesses, and so if as we move on to the Airbnb, was it just taking a part of your real estate portfolio and making it available through that Airbnb channel? Is that the logic behind it?
I mean, at the end of the day, that's all real estate. So
Okay.
it's just a different exit strategy when it comes to real estate. I'm a buy and hold investor. I'm a fix and flipper. Like I'm a real estate entrepreneur. So I'm not like limited to what I do in real estate. If an opportunity that comes and that property makes sense to do Airbnb, then that's what we're gonna do. If our evaluation that it makes sense to sell it, then that's what we're gonna do. If it makes sense to keep it, then that's what we're gonna do. So it's kind of all deals is a case by case basis. I don't kind of just buy real estate to say, oh yeah, I'm buying a property over here because this is what I want to do. Let the deal come my way. Let the numbers do what the numbers say. And if the numbers is the best case uses for Airbnb, that's what we're gonna do. If the best use case is for just long term rent, then that's what we're gonna do.
Okay. So as you have grown into real estate and fitness, is there a recipe you use to diversify your business?
Mm, I wouldn't necessarily say a recipe. It's definitely maybe a basic groundwork that I kind of look for. Uh, Industry is it growing? Is it stagnant? Is it declining? Um, is it talkable? Um, because a lot of people got businesses and things of that sort, but is it talkable to the average person when I'm sitting in line talking to someone? Is it something I can talk about? Um, so I try to have businesses like that where it don't offend no one to talk about it if I wanted to talk to them about it.
Okay.
If the average person could see themselves as a customer of my business or somewhat. So that's kind of what I do. I kind of like to have businesses that I can talk to people about, that I'm comfortable talking to people about, that people would be comfortable talking with me about. Um, when I was in the med spa business, it was kind of easy to get ladies to come to the med spa because they always get something waxed, whatever that something is, they get
Be
something
careful
waxed.
now.
Yeah, they need a facial, or they come get facials and things of that sort. So it was kind of easy to segue into conversations with strangers about things of that sort. Same thing. Like when I was in the car business, you want to offend nobody telling them they can come trade their car in with me. I give them top dollar.
Okay.
Um, so I like to have a conversational approach about my businesses. Everybody needs somewhere to live, and if you got somewhere to live, how about investment real estate? Do you own
So
any investment real estate?
so are all your businesses original startups, or do you acquire them from individuals?
No, they all original startups, but I'm open to acquiring business, but they all have been original startups.
Are you interested in franchising any of your concepts?
I am. I'm actually in the process of, I wouldn't necessarily say franchising right now, but we are I would say getting down to the nitty gritty and honing in our processes so we can franchise. So right now, again, the coffee brand only been open for 4 months, so we still trying to figure out what coffee blends work better than others and so forth. Scaling the menu up or down. So yeah, I think that probably within the next 12 months, 12 to 18 months, we'll have enough data um, to kind of move forward with a franchise. But right now, it's not ready for franchise, and we still
Okay.
working things out. But
Yeah,
it is a
I
plan.
yeah, I play on the franchise side too. I'm a franchise consultant, but that's interesting. I love this concept. And so, before we get into kind of your philosophy on alternative of financing, any advice you want to give to those folks listening who are interested in getting into real estate? What's your filter? How do you look at the market? How should because people are always thinking about buying a home, but we're not talking about buying a home now. We're talking about an investment real estate piece of property. How would you guide them? What advice would you give them?
Um, Couple of things, right? Understand your temperament. If you scary, but but people be scary, and people know
Yeah,
they scary.
that's true.
People know how they
Yeah.
are with their money. You got people who are, I would never go to the casino. I would never gamble. I'm just scared
Right.
to lose a
Right.
dollar. And you got those type of people. So if you are that type of person, I would say deal with um a property that don't need any work. You can go in and find a nice property that needs a tenant. I would say buy a 2 to 4 unit. It's gonna pay for itself. You're gonna make a little money. You can get your ears wet, and hopefully you don't have a experience that's gonna scare you out of buying you another one. Because typically if you got to get over that fear, and then if you have a pleasurable experience, then you'll go and go try it again. A lot of times people have bad experiences in real estate because they don't think it's a business. They think it's just something that you can just buy and it's gonna work out.
I see.
But you need to have some education. If you wasn't taught, if you didn't learn how to landlord properly, if you didn't learn how to evaluate the deal and to look for certain things, then you're probably going to have a bad experience in real estate. So most people don't educate themselves. So first and foremost, you need to educate yourself. Like that's the most important thing. And that's reading, that's YouTube University, that's podcasts like this one. Get around people who do it. It's in any I don't care what metropolitan you are, it's always a group of investors that doing some meetups and RIA groups in that area. Go tap in with them, ask some questions, go shadow them, and get involved.
Are there any kind of real estate deals that you would walk away from? I mean, because
Oh,
I love what you just said.
I walk
E-
away
And,
from all kind of deals all the time.
and why is that? Because they don't the math doesn't work.
Yeah, the math don't work. If it's too risky, if it don't make sense, then I'm not buying. It's easy, especially here in Chicago, to get caught up in buying a property in Bronzeville, or buying a property in North Lawndale because it's hot and so forth. But you can get a very bad deal and screw yourself because you didn't let the emotions of having a house in Bronzeville or a building in Bronzeville make you make an emotional decision as opposed to an educated financial decision. So that's important.
Okay, and a couple more questions on real estate because you got are there kinds of I mean I'm not a real estate investor. I invest in businesses, and so when I look at the real estate market, I know you have two flats, multiple units. How do when you look at Chicago, is your portfolio strictly in Chicago or across the country?
No, my portfolio is Chicago. We got arguably the best real estate market in the country. So I probably wouldn't venture out unless it was like a large multifamily deal or something like that. Like I'm open to large commercial deals, 300-400 units or more, or something like that in other areas. But outside of that, I got too much going on. We got too much opportunity in Chicago to be looking anywhere else.
Well, help me with that. I wanna understand the way Los Callahan looks at the real estate market. That's a big statement. Arguably one of the best real estate markets in the country. Why do you say that?
Because we got good property values, right? We
Hmm.
got a lot of neighborhoods in Chicago, even right now. Like right now, simultaneously, we got about 5 neighborhoods gentrifying right now. Um, you familiar with 79th Street?
Yes, I am.
Years ago, you wouldn't buy a nothing on 79th Street for $100,000.
Right.
Um, they got 2 units for 450 on 79th right now.
Okay.
450,000 that I can pick up for 80,000. Put $150,000 into it and sell it for 450, or keep it and retain the equity of. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many areas in Chicago that I can do something like that with or even greater. Probably one of my best deals that I'm working on right now. I bought a property in Washington Park
Okay.
for 132,000. For 132, it's worth 800,000. Where in America can I get into something for 132,000 and it have a value of 800,000?
And do you worry you will be able to get that money out? I mean, it's worth 800, but you bought it for 132. Is that because it's not been kept up
Yeah,
or
it needed some love. It needed
okay.
some love, and not a whole lot, but
Okay.
yeah, it needed some love. I I'm gonna put probably another 250, 270 in there.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm great with that.
Okay. So now let's get into the alternative. I mean, you teach people. I mean, I love that you have this. I won't call it a big heart, but you clearly are an educator. You want to bring your tribe along with you. What got you into that? And first, the reason I say that, people may not know that this brother has his a clubhouse. He teaches on Clubhouse. When I did my background investigation, he just came back from teaching folks, having a master class in Jamaica, and I think that's just one of the locations that you go to. What stimulated you to do that? Because you're not, you're busy.
Yeah. So that one was kind of twofold. The retreats. The retreats actually spawned from my wife and I traveling a month every month. We try our hardest to travel once a month. And when we travel, we kind of travel in some of the best places the world got to offer.
Okay.
And when you stay at the best places the world got to offer, it ain't many people that look like us there, right?
True.
And then if they are, they don't turn up the way we want to turn up there. So so
True.
so this is a way for me to travel with a group of like-minded individuals, and we can take our party with us to the best places on earth. So it made sense for me to kind of target business owners where I can teach them something, and now it's a business expense that they can write off, and they can trick their wife into coming and all of this stuff. So it kind of worked out.
Okay. So when you, I love that. And so when you talk about alternative financing, someone shows up to one of your little master classes, you retreats.
It's not a little master,
Uh,
it's big master class, big retreat. No,
oh, okay. And so, what do you teach them when it comes to alternative financing? I mean, walk us through that.
so it's more about how to go to the bank and access large lines of credit from the bank. So I kind of teach people how to systematically identify banks that's going to give you the large lines of credit, and then go in there and have the conversations, then present the documents and things that you're going to need to walk out with those large lines of credit. So we can go on Instagram right now, TikTok, and all that stuff. You're going to see all type of people talking about some, yeah, I can get you
You would.
50K and all this stuff and all this business funding and all this stuff, but they just talking credit cards. And then they talking, that first round of business line of credit that almost every bank could give you, undocumented, $50,000 or less. So yeah, if you got five LLCs, you go get 50,000 from all five of them. Yeah, you can get 50. You have $250,000. Yes, but I teach you how to take your one LLC, go to the bank, and go get millions from it. You know,
Okay.
even if you don't get millions from it, you're gonna get a few 100,000.
Okay.
Everybody, like 100% of the people that has went and applied themselves has got approved. I don't have nobody that come through my retreats or my mentorship that's went to the bank and got declined. I got
Now
100%.
that now lost. That's a big statement.
It is, and I say it
That's
with
a
my chest
big.
out. I say it with my chest out because
Now now
people that can say that.
now it is it because you vet them before they even get into the group?
Absolutely.
Uh, okay. Okay.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. I don't got a sales page where you can just, oh yeah, I want that right now, and then you win. No, it don't work like that.
Okay, so
So
they clearly got to have their act together, the business together. Okay,
absolutely,
that makes sense.
absolutely,
And so it's all about going towards the bank. So you talked earlier about hard money. Do you ever tap hard money sources
absolutely,
for your
absolutely,
folks?
absolutely. So what we do is we learn how to go and systematically get the money from the bank. Large lines of credit. So now we get access to three, four, five, six, $700,000 of lines of credit. So then I can use the lines of credit as a down payment with the hard money lenders and so forth. So now I can get into these deals with none of my money. I may use, $40,000 or $100,000 or $200,000 from the line of credit just to get to put the 10% down from the lender. The lender gonna give me the money to for the acquisition and the
Right.
money for the construction to bring it back up to the standards of 2024. And then once at the end, I'll either refinance it or sell it, pay the line of credit off, and we back doing it again.
Okay, and so I am curious. So for the folks to come into your master class, can I call it a master class?
You can.
Okay. Um, how should they look? What do they need to, because I'm here. Here's what I'm looking at. There are going to be some small business owners that are going to be listening to this and getting. How should they look before they come talking to somebody like you? Should
Oh,
they obviously been in business what 5 years?
nah, I ain't got to be in business that long. 12 months is good enough for me. We can get busy. Um, but anytime, any history is always great. So if they've been in business a while, that's cool. Um, Ideally, I would like them to have a 700 plus credit score. Ideally, uh,
Bet.
but if they don't, but their business has revenue, we good with that. You know, the bank like money, so they don't necessarily care about credit if you can show them that you make money.
And
So
and I guess what I'm trying to understand, are these businesses hardcore their products versus services, or
no,
it doesn't
either
matter?
one. Yeah, it don't matter. It don't matter. I'm gonna show you how your business can buy your apartment building. My med spa bought me a couple of apartment buildings. My real estate business bought me a couple of apartment buildings. I'm gonna show you how to make your business buy you a building or two or few.
Okay. And how do these folks get involved in your master class?
Oh, they typically tap in with me one shape in some way, shape, form, or fashion. They either come through my clubhouse channel, Instagram, or maybe the website, maybe word of mouth from a friend or something like that. Um, yeah, I had one of my retreats in Colombia, man. I had about 6 people that was just from word of mouth, just and it was great. The energy was great. They passed the initial conversation, and it was great. I'm glad they did.
So what's the vetting process? They just need to have a conversation with you and the wife, or you and your. I mean, what's
No,
the?
me personally, I don't even pass it off to nobody. I speak with everyone because first and foremost, I want to make sure that they got realistic expectations. I want to make sure that what they come in here to do that they got it painted realistically in their head because sometimes they think that they're gonna come and leave and be a billionaire and things of that sort. So I just want to see make sure that our goals in line, make sure that what even that I can even help you what it is that you're looking to accomplish. Because although I am a real estate investor, been doing it for so long, you may have some real estate goals that's outside of my purview. You may have some business goals that I may or may not be able to help you with. So I just want to make sure that everybody come, they get the value that they're looking for. So I don't have nobody with buyer's remorse, and once they get back and all this stuff, they feel some type of way. So I just make sure that I get exactly what they're looking to get, and then I over deliver.
Okay. And so as you have built your portfolio, how did you end up getting into Smoothie RX? I love that name.
I'm gonna go back though because
Okay,
I
let's
didn't
do
I
that.
didn't I didn't properly finish answering that question because it ain't just that phone call. I do a certain line of questioning in that phone call to make sure that you really of a like mind. Um,
Okay.
so I double down on character questions. You may not even know that it's a character question. Uh,
Hmm.
I I kind of make sure that you're not a professional course taker because you got people who just in everybody program and just part of that person program, part of that person program, and not really an action taker. So I ask questions and to make sure that I'm not inviting any of those people in uh, because I don't want you in to get the information and don't use it. Like that's not what I'm doing this for. This is for us to empower each other and ain't no power if you don't flip the switch. So I need people who gonna really go and get to it. So no, I ask questions. I can tell if you a go getter by the way that you answer these questions. I'm not gonna tell y'all what these questions are right here, in case that y'all want to tap in with me. But your answers will be under scrutiny. Because I'm looking for a certain type of person. Just to give you a quick um, synopsis, right? Look, my very first retreat, I had an issue with payment with the We Travel, the platform that was that was taking the payment.
Okay.
Um, they end up refunding every last attendee of the retreat, refunded them after the retreat.
Oh
After the
wow.
retreat. So we been to Tulum, had our fun, had the education, they got their book and everything they got. They got their money back after the retreat. Every last person sent me my money back within 48 hours and I'm getting it. Every last one of them.
Good.
I can't say I would have got that if I just had an open sales page to anybody that's able to come and any of
No.
that. I vet my people. I'm looking for a specific type of person, a specific character of person, um, uh, uh, the same type of energy that I give because we got business owners and we all got something unique to give. So it's not just a take type of energy. If you're not willing to reciprocate any information that you get and give, then I don't want you.
Okay. 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 That makes sense. So your retreats are typically how long and is it exclusively built on alternative financing?
No, no,
But that's a good portion of it.
yeah, it's kind of equal. We kind of go over three topics at my retreat. It's the funding, it's the real estate acquisitions as I know it, the way that it's worked for me and the way I underwrite properties and so forth, and then how to protect all these assets and trust and even our existing assets. So even if you've got existing real estate assets or even existing businesses, you want to protect those things through trust. We teach you how to do those. We bust down the trust, the history of the Illinois Land Trust, why it's the greatest trust to do, and so forth. And then we teach the people how to do it for themselves. So it's
And
not.
you sound like an avid reader. I
Oh,
would have.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I do.
Okay, and because in talking about that, you don't use a lawyer. You said you don't use a lawyer. For any of this.
Mm-mm.
Okay, okay, okay. I love that. And so, as you get into this, uh, my question, I'm going to go back to it. Smoothie RX. How did you come up with this concept?
So I've been in the health for a long time as I as again you say I'm an avid reader. So as I read and learn more and more about health and things of that sort and the lies that they told us about the food pyramid and things of that sort, it started to make sense to start to do some alternative things or I'm probably going to have the same type of outcome that most of our people have that eat the standard American diet. So, Candace's father, which is my wife, he passed of cancer, a couple of years ago. But we kind of wanted to have a spot to where he can go and get his juices and things of that sort. um, Candace and I, we frequented juice bars and all that stuff kind of like daily. And juices for me, juices for her, acai bowls for it's $60, $60, $60, $60. Man, we spending thousands of dollars at somebody else's establishment. We might as well do our own. So that kind of was the motivation to kind of stop spending money in everybody else's juice bar, and then also provide a spot where we can kind of try to help. I'm sorry, help her father back to health. So COVID kind of slowed us down on the opening of the spot with business licenses and inspection services was closed, so we weren't
Okay.
able to open. So we that kind of slowed us down on the open. We were sitting there ready on 15th and Michigan for almost 2 years, ready to open, just couldn't because we ain't had no business license and so forth.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. So
so
this was a startup. This was an organic. This was not a franchise.
no.
Okay.
No, it looked like a franchise, but no, it's not a franchise. People think it's a franchise when they walk in because we do a lot of branding. I got a mascot. I'm trademarked. If any of y'all try me, I'm trademarked. I got it. So don't try me. But yeah, because of that, people think that it's already a franchise.
Now, and I gotta ask because I come out of healthcare. The RX is because you're focused on health. Is that where that comes from?
So the RX comes from our smoothies are probably the best in the market. And the reason why I say that is because we don't have fruit purees and syrups and ice.
Oh,
Our smoothies are comprised of all 100% frozen fruits. So ours are totally different than the competition. Ours are full of fruit, and the RX come from we put sea moss in all of our smoothies. They come standard like a seatbelt. And then we also put m-
okay.
we put herb powders in all of our smoothies. So some of our smoothies may have some ashwagandha, some moringa powder, so, just
Okay.
whatever we got to kind of boost the medicinal properties of the smoothie. So that's why it's Smoothie RX because we using the Lord's. prescriptions and these smoothies, Smoothie RXs, all natural herb powders and single.
Okay. And so I love this because you know, as we get ready to close this thing out here, you started in real estate. I love the journey, and then you got in. You've been able to use your real estate to do Airbnb, med spa. You have around the world coffee, which I love the name of that. What's next for you and your portfolio? What do you how do you think about this? Because it's almost like you're a mad scientist thinking about some things. But so how do you think about these? What's the future hold?
Um, I do. I like the smoothie coffee concept of Smoothie RX and around the world coffee. It's been well received in River North. I do got people that's looking to franchise it. Like I said, I got my own community of people, and they looking to franchise it. Um, this will not be a public company. I won't be franchising to just anybody. It's only gonna
Hmm.
be open to friends and family and employees. I'm be an employee-owned company. I will allow outstanding team members, and I partner with them and let them open up their own store. But yeah, so that's the goal. I'm looking to keep this a small, close knit company. I got friends that's in real estate nationwide. It's commercial real estate, so I'll be opening another store in one of my friends' developments in Wisconsin. I got another store on the horizon in Atlanta, and another one of my friends' developments. And then we also opening a kiosk right now in the Godfrey Hotel, right over here in River North. So we'll have around the world coffee kiosk in the Godfrey Hotel right now. So
So how did you end up picking River North? That's a wonderful location, but how do you look at Chicago? Because clearly, a large part of your portfolio is right here in the Chicagoland area. How do you? I love how people look at the marketplace. Let me into your mindset on this.
you know, in my mind, Chicago is the most beautiful place in America. I've been to all the major cities. I love our town, downtown 20 times better than everybody else's. It's walkable. It's clean. Um, it's a lot of people. So I picked River North because it is that neighborhood. It's a lot of hustle and bustle.
Hmm.
It's a lot of coffee shops in the area. It's a lot of fitness in the area. So it lets me know that the people are health conscious. So the average rent down there is like $2,800 for a one bedroom. So they got a they got the income that would kind of fit my avatar. Um, I'm kind of located. Well, not kind of. I'm located in a building, a residential building that has 440 units above.
Okay.
So the goal was to have a built-in customer base that could come right downstairs and get coffee and smoothies and so forth. So that was one of the main reasons to be there in that particular building. But I like that neighborhood because, like I say, it's a lot of hustle and bustle. The demographic got disposable income, and then, like I say, it's a lot of workout, fitness, gyms, and boxing, and all that stuff in the neighborhood.
And so as as you look at the economy, we're about to have a presidential election. I'm not going to get into it's not going to be a political question, but as you think about the future and real estate and these organic businesses that you start, um, do you put more of your money towards the organic business startups and franchises or real estate? I mean, how do you think about the future of your investment portfolio?
I think that the spaces that I'm in, I think I'm pretty safe. I think that real estate is going to be something that we always need. So
Yes.
so 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 I think I'm pretty solid there. Um, Coffee. If we look around, man, coffee outside of cigarettes is another legal drug.
Ah,
It's everywhere.
okay.
Um, you can go to country up after country. It's coffee shops on every corner. You can go to almost every major city in America. It's coffee shops on every corner. Um, So I feel like people gonna always want their cup of Joe.
Okay.
So long as you give a nice cup of Joe at a reasonable price, people gonna come in. I feel confident that we got some of the best coffee in Chicago. Our main brew is the Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee, is which arguably one of the best coffees in the world. It's typically around 75 or more per pound, $75 or more per pound. We able to sell it in the store for $45 a pound because I go to Jamaica myself uh, and, and,
And
and,
get it.
and get it
Okay.
and we able to brew that and keep a nice brew of coffee on brew. And most people don't have that type of coffee as like their house brew. So I think that giving people better coffee than what they use for cheaper, better smoothies and better quality. Um, I'm pretty confident in that.
Okay. Last question. So as you look towards 2025, what's in store? How do you look at your business and the future? Uh, Let me in. Talk to us a little bit about 2025 for you.
2025, we're gonna have a new president in. Real estate is going to be going to work well whether it's Trump a real estate investor, so he's going to make sure that taxes and everything are great for real estate investors. I listen to Harris and they kind of hear the cries of the people about affordable housing. So I'm sure they'll be incentivizing us to do more affordable housing and things of that sort. So I'm fine either way with either president. I know I'm be straight with the real estate market, and as long as my demographic of people still continue to make $140,000 or more and care about their health, they're gonna still come get their smoothies. So I think that given where I am, as far as downtown location, that business will be fine. And being here in Chicago, with some of the opportunities, foreclosures and things of that stuff, we hitting the market. We got over $1 trillion of bad debt that's coming back to the market. We will find some of those here in Chicago, and I plan on taking them down, some of them. So taking some of that
And
stuff.
it's interesting that you know your demographic. You're looking for those folks that are making 140,000 a year.
Yeah, because most people just not gonna stomach a $13 smoothie or more.
Oh,
When they used to getting syrup and ice at the other place for $5.99.
well, I love that you've done the math on that, and I wish we had more time to get into how you know that. But I want to give you the last word. Any advice you want to give to aspiring entrepreneurs to follow your success? Because coming from your meager means to where you are right now, you must be pretty happy with the journey and the outcome.
Man, well, this journey ain't over. So, where it is
I
right
didn't say
now.
it was.
No,
I
I
didn't
know.
say it was.
So I'm pleased that where we are right now. I think that for me, the biggest thing is to know that honestly, I know it sounds cliche, but you really can do whatever it is that you put your mind to. You talking to somebody who got 5 felonies, been in the penitentiary 4 times, and I'm able to have this conversation that we having. So a lot of times people allow others and the influence of others to stop them from doing what they really want to do. If I would have listened to my mom, I wouldn't be where I am today. If I would listen to other people, I wouldn't be where I am today because they would call this a protecting me. They didn't want me to be let down. But
Hmm.
if I would listen to them, I would have let myself down by not even trying. So for me, uh, educate yourself in whatever industry you want to get in. It don't necessarily got to be real estate. Educate yourself and stand 10 toes down and give it your all, and you're gonna win.
Okay. Well, thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it. What an amazing conversation we've just had with Carlos Los Callahan. He's shown that if you have the right mindset and strategies, you can unlock a great future for yourself. Let me end by saying this. If you found this episode inspiring and you want to hear more, please turn into the next big thing and share it with your friends. Thanks for listening to The Next Big Thing. I'm your host, Keith D.Terry. If you've enjoyed this episode and you'd like to support this podcast, please share it with others. Post about it on social media or leave a rating and a review. To catch all the latest from me, you can follow me on my YouTube channel at Keith D. Terry. If you want to recommend a guest, please email me at info@terryperformancegroup.com. This has been produced by your host and Jade Productions.